Hello, I am Natalia Powers and trying something new today. This is my first time actually just going straight live on YouTube, but I am trying to grow and get out of my comfort zone. But I had a thought that I want to share, but just a little bit of background. Again, I am Natalia Powers. I am the founder of Destined Initiatives, which has branched out into multiple sub brands. You've probably seen some brands such as Shift into Success, which is our new sisterhood where we have monthly prayer calls, empowerment sessions, and goal setting sessions. And as we go through each month, we talk about topics where women commonly get stuck and are stagnated from progressing towards a life of identity, a life of purpose, and a life of fulfillment. Another sub brand that I've kicked off is the Destiny Shift Conference and one-on-one coaching platform. And with that, we had our first conference in 2019. We were planning to do another conference in 2020, but as we know, a lot of plans got changed. And so looking to do something virtual for the next Destiny Shift conference. We'll pray about it and see how that goes. But then the one-on-one coaching is very near and dear to my heart because just as a very detail-oriented person that I am, I do believe that people want attention and also need attention to see through various changes that they want to happen in their lives. But because sometimes we're blindsided by what we have going on in our own personal lives, you need the help of someone to kind of see and talk through those things. And so, as a holistic lifestyle and success coach, I offer those services to talk through the mental, the spiritual, the emotional, financial. It's holistic. So we kind of deal with each of those areas. But the reason why I wanted to kind of do this impromptu live was just to kind of talk through a thought that I had. I am actually going through the 100 Days of Believing Bigger by Marshawn Evans Daniels. And I am on day 69, and it talks about how every prayer counts. And it talks about how perfectionism, the tendency to be a perfectionist, can even pop up in our spiritual lives and in our relationships with God. And so as I was reading through the devotional, I'm like, oh my God, that is me. You know, I am a perfectionist. But I did not realize how much perfectionism had creeped into my relationship with God. And I really didn't put a name on it, but I did kind of evolve from having that perfectionism in my life. And I just kind of want to talk through that. So the question that Marshawn posed for this particular devotional is, how have you been judgmental of your prayer time with God? And for me, I realized that, you know, before, because I do feel like I've grown from this, I used to not think that I was spiritual enough because because I didn't pray verbally as much as I thought I should on a daily basis. Or when I was praying, I felt as if I was not getting emotional enough. I come from like a very charismatic church background. And so, you know, with that, we get excited. You know, we scream, we shout, we run, we do victory laps, we'll cry, we'll speak in tongues. We'll kind of do a mixture of all of those when we get into a scene for corporate worship. But for me, that ideal, I kind of set that type of connection with God as the ideal. And so when I was not experiencing that myself as much as I thought I should, I thought that I was not spiritual enough. And so as I've grown spiritually, I realized, like, that intimate time with God looks different for everyone. And it may not be that way for me, or it may not be that way for you. So you kind of have to find what way you connect with God. And so, yeah, so, I would think that I didn't, show enough emotion, or my prayer time wasn't as long as it should be. Of course, I would get distracted. And so, with all of that, it's like, with all of those thoughts toiling around, you kind of judge yourself, condemn yourself, and also feel as if I'm not doing it right. So maybe I'm not as blessed or anointed or on point as I should be. And so I just kind of wanted to put that out there for you, like, and to have you ask that question for yourself. Are you being judgmental of your own prayer time with God? Do you feel as though, you're not doing what you're supposed to do during that time? Now, mind you, like, I do believe that if you are not having any connection with God, or any sense of release, or any sense of fulfillment in your prayer time, then you do need to watch out for that, because there could be underlying issues that are getting in the way. And so, just the main thing is that we are being sincere when we come to God. If we're pressuring ourselves to cry, or we're pressuring ourselves to raise up the volume, or we're pressuring ourselves to create these long and voluminous prayers and fancy, wording as we pray, um, that's not necessary, because really what is going to get you connected to God consistently and intimately is sincerity. That's all it is, sincerity. And as you are more consistently sincere in your time with God, you'll start to see the level of intimacy also increasing. And you'll also sense more fulfillment. And so, yeah, it's like, that time, you cannot allow that time to be idealized by what you heard someone else say it should look like, or what you even experienced in a corporate setting. It's going to be different. And so, you know, there's no prescribed way. You want it to be as natural as my hair right now. You want it to be natural. You want it to be sincere. And if you do get to a point where you shed a tear, if you do get to a point where, you get overwhelmed with emotion and the volume does increase, um, that's fine. That is totally fine. And it makes it even better. But you're not going to get there until you are sincere, and until you practice sincerity. And so, the other thing too is sometimes you don't have the discipline, or you don't have the time or the space to kind of sanctify a time and a space in, like, a sanctuary setting where you're able to meditate for 30 minutes or an hour. Even if you don't have that, like, no matter how shallow you think it is, just open up your mouth and talk to him. Connect with him out of sincerity again. And yeah, that's it. That's it. Like, don't judge yourself. Practice sincerity. And, I'll speak for God. Just keep those lines of communication open. Keep those lines of communication coming. I love you. Take care. Bye bye.